Will reading more books help me be more articulate? Well, what are your options to increase your articulation? Do you know? Wizard? Would definitely argue reading books. Honestly, don't doubt. Like I said, podcasts are a great one. Podcasts. Listen, I used to dead ass watch for hours and hours and hours of speakers that I like. And this obviously is not a podcast, so it sounds like I'm contradicting myself. But there are obviously great podcasts that have meaningful conversations that you listen to and you learn stuff. You look it up. You look up words. I read all the time. I have to look up a word. What the fuck is that? What does that mean? I don't even know what the word means. Don't even be knowing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even like I'm going to use it in my vocabulary. Because that's another thing you realize. Is that there is a bottleneck in communication. Do y'all know what it means to have a bottleneck, chat? Do y'all know what that means? There is a bottleneck in communication. Right. Constraint is actually a good word. No. So when I'll give you a physical example of a bottleneck, right? If there is, I'm trying to use, now if you know what a bottleneck is, tell me if this is a good or bad example. Right, a limitation is the best way to describe it. But a physical example is, let's imagine there's a highway with 4 lanes. This highway would be bottlenecked by the bridge that only has 2 lanes. So there's 4 lanes, hundreds of cars, and then next thing you know, there's a bridge that only has 2 lanes. That's a bottleneck. It slims it down, tightens it, and limits how much can go through. There's bottlenecks. There's communication. There's a huge bottleneck. You could be so intelligent. You could have access to so much vocabulary. You could know so much. Yet, statistically speaking, if you are not able to adapt and be creative in communication, you'll have no impact and no influence with your words. Why? Because you lose people when they say, I don't understand. You lose them. The whole idea of it going over somebody's head is a problem if you want to be an effective communicator. So then you start learning how to communicate in different circumstances, with different education levels, different levels of professionalism. And I would say this is a lot different from code switching. I think code switching is projecting a character that works in the situation. And what I'm more so talking about is being aware of who you're talking to and how they'll understand what you're saying. Gift of Gabe. Yeah, he meant to say Gab. Imagine a pipe. If 100% of water flows into a system, the bottleneck would cause the pipe to only produce 20% of water to flow out. Right. Right. So if I was a rocket scientist, no. Let me talk about something I can actually know. If I'm a chemistry teacher, right, or a calculus teacher, I have to learn how to come down to the level my classroom. Otherwise, if I go into chapter 19 and they have no clues, no background knowledge, no foundation, no fundamentals that help them understand what I'm talking about, I'm cooked.